It's a Yeti, right? Mike. Oh, there we go.
It should work now.
It's a Yeti, right? Mike. Oh, there we go.
It should
Okay.
work now. Alright.
Alright, guys. Let me, I guess, post
I
this.
can do the link in Discord if you want.
Huh?
I can
Yeah, do that. And then I'm going to put it on social media. Alright, guys. What is going on? Good to be back in 2024. I know it's been a while. I'm going to take your link and put it on my social media. I'm going to get everybody going here. I just got to post this on social media quick to make sure we get people on in here. I hope you've been having a great year. We have definitely, there was a lot of opportunities in 2023. All right, I'm live going, sorry. Can't forget Jordan here. Jordan.
It's also 2020. I can't believe it was the last time
going
I uploaded.
live. Jordan and I are going live. Going over the year of 2023. Yes. What other runners did we have today? All right. Good enough. All right, guys, there's that. Then I'll post this on Twitter, and then we're good to go.
Can you change the title?
Change the title? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Last year went by quick. Super
Yeah, it
quick.
did. All right, I'm going to stream now. I don't even know how to stream anymore on Instagram. Do I even know how to get on here live? Okay. All right. Alrighty, guys. I got my camera live here.
Cool.
I'll just go like this. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna unplug it. I don't know if this is working. The camera on here, but it's probably fine. Anyways, guys, hope you guys had a great 2023, 2023 is 2024 now. We're just getting started here for you guys. Hopefully you guys had a great year. I'm going to try and be more and more active this year on 2024. I apologize for being out 2023. Just kind of, soaking everything in. It's been a long time streaming. I've been streaming 5 years, 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
6
years.
August 2017.
And I pretty much do it every day. So it was a lot on me mentally. A little draining to be on every single day, explaining everything and, going over the day and all that. But, I'm going to try and get back to that rhythm and that routine. I wanted to kind of take a year off. What's going on, Alan? I know. It's been a while. I kind of wanted to take some time off and just reflect on the year and, go over kind of what I've been doing. And, again, it was mentally draining, but it's good to be back. Jordan's here with me, even though you can't see him. He's just scared in the corner.
I like Meech.
Yeah, good old Meech. Well, is she in here?
No, not right now.
Okay, gotta bring her back at some point. But anyways, guys, so we're gonna go over 2023. And the year that was. What do we got? Nice to see you. Appreciate it. What's cooking? Maybe some steak later. First time here. It's nice to meet you. Awesome, Pablo. What's going on, ET? Todd. The new house is great. Yep. Good to see you, Mitch. Good to be back. So let's go ahead and not waste any more time. 2023 there were some good opportunities. One that leads the way is Carvana. that was probably one of the best opportunities, depending on your time frame. I mean, there were some couple of multi-day runners here and there. What was the one off MTMB?
TPST.
TPST. There was TPST, and we saw some good intraday runners, that's for sure. But there wasn't anything like wild. But Carvana was definitely up there as wild. From going from 3 to 60 something, 62. That's pretty crazy. Even though it took, I think, 5 months.
Yeah, it took a while.
That's still impressive to me, no matter what. To see that kind of unfold. So that was awesome. But the year for me as a whole, I could have done a lot more. Again, I kind of fell on the train of being complacent. Jordan and I, we talk about it all the time. Ever since I had my big year, with GameStop and COVID and all that, Hertz and Luck and Coffee, and I can go on. But I just fell in this hole of complacency, It's a blessing, it really is. It's just a problem that I think everybody would like to have at some point. But, I've just been in that trap of kind of complacent. And, on the day trading account, we finished up green, which is awesome. Long-term green, sweep trading, red. So, now I'm invested into some real estate as well. So, we're still making progress as a whole, on the financial side of things. But I should have done a lot better day trading. I should have done a lot better. I know I could have done a lot better. I'm just falling under that complacent train. And I was talking about this at the end of 2021. I talked about it all of 2022. And here I am, 2023, again, with the word complacency. And, I'm going to look back at this. I know I will. And I'll have that next leg. And that next leg will be quick. But until then, we're just fighting through that complacent train. And, one of those things for me is I've had my back against the wall my entire life when it comes to my career in trading. And I've given it everything I have. Trading has been everything to me. It's my livelihood, food on the table, roof over your head concept. I talk about that all the time. And I'm kind of past that point of food on the table, roof over your head. And that's where it becomes, all right, how am I going to get that back against the wall next year mentality? Like, how am I going to get that revving again? And, I've only known it as back against the wall, chug along. But now it's just like, I can breathe, right? Like I can take a step back and be like, wow, look at what, has happened and progressed over the years of the ups and the downs, the ebbs and the flows, the big losses and the big wins, and all the above in between. I mean, you're going to go through a lot as a trader mentally, emotionally, psychologically. There's just so much that happens progressively as you get more and more into your career or in depth with your career. But, I don't know. It's just, I got to find that leg, right? We talk about it all the time. But I still feel, awesome about the year, I feel really good about my long term, and I hope most people can with the market being up the way it has.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of, stocks that have been really worked out for me in my long term. And also, as well as in the markets and things like that. But, that's pretty much me, on the year. Again, kind of falling down those lines of complacency and trying to kind of, I've had steps where I feel like I'm progressing, and then I'll never forget, that short I took last year in Diamond Club. That was that was where I felt like I had that next leg, and I was right there. I was on the cusp, and I took a short in Diamond Club behind the Mariners split home plate on my phone, not knowing the app. I knew it was, looking back, it would have been a great trade if I would have been at home, not spotty. And also, it wasn't just the service; it was the fact that TradeZero was logging me in and out. I was on the road, and then I parked, and then I'm getting in there, and it was just not good, right? I mean, the trade was there, the gap down 40% overnight. The liquidity was insane. I have no regrets on that trade other than the fact that I took it on my phone. And that really cost me. Because at some points, I didn't know how many shares I had or when I was getting filled. It was bad. I had turned my account around. I think I went from 50K back up to $1 million. I think it was. And then I just chugged it back down. And, then I've been kind of choppy. But again, green year on the Trade Zero account. And there was a lot of opportunities that could have been there. And I saw a lot of ebbs and flows, as we both know, this year. I was up my record-breaking trade and watched it go all the way down and actually lost on it. And that's just, a part of trading. I've been in so many of those times where it's like I'm either down and then I'm up, or I'm up, then I'm down, and anywhere in between. And it's just, it's that extra 0.01% in my focus that means everything when you're trading at a high level or in any part. Let's just talk baseball for a split second. Like AAA, AA, single A, those guys are millimeters away from being paid, let's say 10 million or 15 million, but instead it's 500 grand or so on and so forth. And that's the exact thing I think in trading. If that 0.01% at a high level means everything, and that's kind of where I've been complacent. And that little bit, I still personally feel like I've evolved and gotten better, and I continue to learn, and I spend the time, and I'm reading books, and I'm constantly wanting to learn. I still show up every single day. I watch the markets from open to close. I mean, you know that. That's my thing. I love getting to the screens. I still have the passion for this thing. I love the most fulfilling thing is seeing you guys win now. That other day I had someone post, and they had a great year and they talked about their story, and that pretty much made my year as is. Like, to see people have success in any type of way from the room, or from you or from me, or the foundational options that I choose you can have on YouTube, or all the different streams that I have, or the courses that I have, the scanners, the mods that are that I'm lucky to have that help people in the room when they can. It starts from the bottom. And you got to build your foundation, trial and error. And I think no one knows that more than Jord. This guy, I still to this day think he puts in more time than me. He has so much spreadsheets. He's grinding out all this analytical stuff. Behind the scenes, it's crazy to see what it takes. I mean, we just show up, him and I, every single day, and we might sound just like normal, everyday people, which we are, but the amount of time and effort that we put in behind the scenes is never to be seen, not really talked about, and it just seems like we show up, but that's not the case. It took a lot of trial and error, and it takes a lot of crashing and burning. And, just for an example, when I first started, I lost about half, if not more than half, my net worth. I broke down. I had to find myself. I was working for Domino's. I had to work extra hours for $9-10 an hour. This is real life stuff, right? And now to look back at that and to see where I'm at, I'm super grateful, and like I said, blessed to be where I'm at. But it didn't happen overnight. It was a lot of patience and going through a lot of pissed off days, and then having some awesome days. And I'll never forget NCTY. That kind of broke it open for me, and I never looked back from that day. And so yeah. That's pretty much it for me. I'll let Jordan kind of take over for his 2023, and then we can kind of bounce some things back and forth, and then we can answer some questions, and then you and I maybe can ask each other some questions. I guess last year we had questions that we had written up. Maybe we should have done that, but I'm sure we can just kind of brainstorm it, and then also with you guys, you can ask some questions as well.
Yeah, I think the behind the scenes thing.
And let me know if you guys can hear Jord clearly, by the way, because he's kind of off. I don't even know if you guys can hear me clearly, so just let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear us clearly. Give me a thumbs down if you can't. If you want us to make it louder, go thumbs down. Then we can. But anyway, Jord, you're good.
But I didn't want to interrupt you. But yeah, behind the scenes stuff, it's kind of like what we always talk about with Paul Maggie. The guy on stream, sometimes seems like an idiot. But we both know that guy...
Okay, you said that, not me.
But we know that guy is like one of the smartest guys out there.
Oh
you
yeah,
know what
no
I mean?
question, no question.
But like you hear some of the shit that he says on his streams,
Yeah.
and it's just like, holy cow! Like,
He just
how has this guy made like $100 million?
Yeah, he's just having a great life and being funny.
Yeah, but like, but it's true. I mean, yeah, this year definitely. Well, technically, this year was the slowest year since becoming profitable in 2020. I posted already the P&L and the curve in the small caps room, but overall, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it was still a good year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so overall, you know, I'd say like this year, really a common thing month after month was that, you know, there was just not that many opportunities like on a consistent basis. There was not too many really consistent themes, and there weren't really any months that had any big upticks for like volatility and stuff like that. So for example, last year we had the Oilers and we had GBR and stuff like that in March, and then I think we had another sector run. Maybe it was China names, it was something like that, but we had another nice uptick, I think, in August. And those types of markets where you can string together some big winners definitely makes, you know, a big impact on the bottom line at the end of the year. And so kind of like what I found was that there were no real consistent themes, or there was no real like 3, 4, 5 weeks that could string together a lot of like compounded gains, like day in and day out that had clean action. Bless you.
Hey.
And
Sorry. My sneeze so loud.
But that was a good dad sneeze. But yeah, so there wasn't too many times where we would get some big runner and then we would get like a couple of weeks of clean action thereafter. It felt like this year, it was like, if you were lucky, it was like 3 days. Even with TPST, the main runner after that was MTNB, and I think maybe AUVI and maybe like 2 or 3 other names. But a lot of them didn't really have much volume, and a lot of them were kind of these light volume pumps that would halt 3 times and then just crash right after. So
yeah,
the actual ability to catch a secondary move or catch like a typical consolidation, high or low, like, you know, typical pattern and actually have enough liquidity to support more than 10,000 shares.
Yeah.
Was pretty rare this year. I mean, stats wise, from what we track, this is the lightest year that we've had since the COVID bubble. There was an uptick in gappers this year, and there was an uptick in
after hours owners.
No, in volatility, intraday volatility. But the liquidity and especially the crowded volume, like which is 500 million traded intraday,
right,
dropped a lot again this year.
Interesting.
Like, we really did not. We maybe see like a 500 million crowded volume type play, maybe once a week. And I used to trade those. We both used to trade those. We would get about 20. We'd get about 10 a week. So, I mean, crowded volume has dropped about 80 to 85%, and that was the bulk of my strategy in 21.
Right.
So the last 2 years has definitely been an adjustment. Obviously, with my style, like, you know, you've always talked about it, but I don't really lose big, and I'm also not someone that's going to, you know, make an insane amount intraday.
You're just a straight line.
Yeah, but that is going to change, and like already things for me are evolving where, you know, I'm focusing every day on just eliminating more and more and more out of my trading. And then to compensate for that, adding as much like size as I comfortably can, like over time. Like already, like, you know.
Well, that Cam account is
the little,
double already.
Yeah, the Robinhood account already is
that
double. That
reminds me of me when I was trading Robinhood. Like that would double and same stuff. But.
So, but yeah, so shooting for more like, you know, like nowadays, right? Back in the day, or I guess I should say back in the day, my weeks would consist of like 30 to 35 small winners.
Yeah.
That would, you know, be 2 or 3K winners. and then you account for some losses or something like that,
Yeah.
and then that would create whatever the week was average for 21.
Yeah.
Something, whatever.
Right.
2022, we still had some carryover, and we still had some good sector themes, so there's still an ability to kind of compound the scalps in that way. But now, since the action is so hot and cold, you really have to compound through your sizing when the actual setups are there.
Yeah.
And then the other times where things are not, perfectly met criteria, whatever that may be,
right,
you really have to just like not trade at all. You have to be able to go days without trading. And for me, I mean, that's extremely difficult because I got my start micro scalping. I got my start taking 100 to 200 trades a day. When I very first started, I was taking 1,000 trades a day.
Yeah.
I know there's some guys on social media that still do the hyper scalping stuff that have kind of gained some popularity, and so it's nice to see that edge is still there. But make no mistake, it's not scalable at all. I tried as hard as I could. I think in 21 it was successful. I was happy with what I did there, but I've just really kind of committed to like moving on to those bigger idea, more strict criteria. If I can't make at least 20% of this trade, then I'm not interested type mentality, as opposed to like, I'm just going to make 4%, 5% over and over again. It's so choppy now, and the liquidity is so light.
Right.
It's way more difficult to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, perfect example, CING. We get a parabolic runner, but it's all after hours and not a ton of liquidity.
Yeah.
And then, those never create sympathy plays, and if they do, they're light. And, it also
I caught the sympathy the day after.
Yeah.
But it was
light.
literally just crash and burn right after I sold. I mean, it was like, it was the same thing, 20-25% gain.
Yeah.
And then it just was a complete pop drop, like piece of crap.
So. And so that's one of those things where I saw that a lot this year, where it was like all the big runners were after hours and it's light liquidity, and then it opens
tops,
up and
tops.
It opens up, it tops out, and then it just fails, and you get hardly any sympathies behind it.
Yeah.
The real sympathy plays, the real fun is when things run intraday, multi-day, multi-week, like a Carvana. And that still could be, who knows? I'm not going to go on record saying for sure it will be, but it's giving off the beginning of a GameStop. Will that actually happen? I have no idea. I hope so, because then the market's going to be back. It'll be back to 2020, 2021, and I'll be right locked in. I won't be those days where I don't get up to pee, eat, drink anything. I'll be dehydrated. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just going to be locked into the screens because those opportunities are so worth it and can change your life. And literally, I showed everybody back in the day in days, weeks, and a month, right?
Yeah.
And so those opportunities are what I look forward to. But, now that I don't have them, it's just been like, come on, like, where are we at? But
the liquidity was so crazy in 21. It was like nowadays, like for example, I think like on like a day like today, I think on whatever that gapper was, NEXI, and then whatever that other one was, the backside bouncer today, SNTG maybe. Like in between both of those, I think you could make 50,000, and then string together a 6-figure day, which is insane. But
SIDU.
Was it?
That's the one you doubled your account.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like you can definitely make an insane amount of money, and it's still a level that I have not yet achieved. But it's true, in 2021, like, we're not talking like the 6-figure days. It's like, I mean, dang near on a bi-weekly basis, there was like a 7-figure opportunity. And
at one point it was every day.
Yeah, I mean, when it was really insane in those early January, February, March.
I mean, KOSS 3 to 100 something.
Yeah.
Like, and it was lighter, but.
Yeah, no, it's totally true. But my point is that making 0.1% or whatever on like the maximum you think you can make on it.
Yeah.
Like, when the total dollar potential is higher, obviously you're going to make more by just skimming off if you're a scalper like me or something like that. And then if you're a big kind of like momentum trader, like big intraday swing trader like you, then it's like those opportunities nowadays are just a lot more conservative as opposed to like the ones where you got a big account and you can make 50% or 60% on an intraday.
Yeah.
I don't really think that exists. I think maybe there's a handful of opportunities where you could have made a 7-figure trade this year, as opposed to in 21.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, way more opportunities in 21.
Yeah.
It was almost
I'm talking strictly intraday. I know swing trading is different, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
there's some pretty crazy swings this year, actually.
Yeah. Me?
No, I'm just saying opportunities. Nvidia, AI, Carvana, NKLA. I mean, just those 4 right there. I mean,
And there was plenty more.
yeah, way more on the long-term side stuff. You know.
But I would say thanks, Mohammed. I would say that one thing I was talking about actually today was, looking back on 2023, how I used to trade. It was this. It was I'd show up to the screens every day and I would take the trades that had the most range, the most liquidity, and the most opportunity and sizing it out accordingly. I mean, you saw me when there was a ton of capitulation, that's when I takes the trade, right? What was the one that went from 29 to like 47 and I had a big position in it?
TK something?
TCAT?
TKT? Yeah, I think so.
Well, there was also another one though. But anyways.
I think so, with the Z.
Yeah, but I waited, and the day that it started showing me those huge volume spikes down is when I started to be like, all right, this is the day, Similar to maybe like an end phase, right? Or maybe even a meta. Dare I say that? Something where like the capitulation is coming down, it's gapping down, you're starting to see the big move down comparatively. And that's when you start trickling in. That's how I've always traded. And when I'm trading my best, I don't look at P&L at all. I just simply, people will never look at me and be like, I'm a systematic trader. That will never happen. But like I do, I follow my system. I'm scaling in chunks with proper size. And I'm looking I look at the screens every day. I got my scanners. I got another scanner that I use for mid caps and large caps. And I'm looking at all those and I'm like identifying which ones have the most opportunity in that day. I might have 4 to 6 on the screen. I let them kind of play out until my setup comes about, and then I take the trade, right? But over the past, when I get complacent, I'm literally just pushing for numbers. That's the difference. I'm pushing for numbers. I might take the right setup, but I'm not taking the right entries, and mentally it flips me all the way around and I stop out dead bottom. Or trading is such a mental game. You might know how to trade better than anyone. I mean, you and I both know. Like when you in the beginning were like trying to sound all smart and like telling me all these things. It doesn't matter to me, or it shouldn't matter to anyone how smart you sound or how well you can explain something.
It's true.
It comes down to just executing. And like when I'm executing, I might not be able to explain it the best, but when I hopefully show you guys the trades that I make, it makes sense and it works out. But you have to be able to execute, and a lot of that is proper sizing. Mentally, in order to keep your head into the game and keep yourself in the trade, to keep yourself going, moving forward, and not getting mentally flipped is the biggest thing. Like, I might take a fourth of the size on a trade, and because I mentally have clarity still and I took the proper trade, I'll make 3 other trades that day, and I'll end up being up 30% on the day or something. Rather than I know I took the right trade and I'm all in, or I'm 50% in, or I'm 70% in, and I didn't scale in properly, and I know that setup's A+, all of a sudden mentally I can't handle it anymore. I'm down too much, and if this goes the other 5% or 10% that I could lose, I don't want to risk that, so I stop out, it goes back up, and then I lose the next 3 trades after that because mentally I'm flipped. I can't tell you guys enough how important it is to keep your mental clarity going in a trade, and if that means sizing down to a 10th or a 20th of your account, keeping those green trades and that mental and that conviction and the what is it, not conviction, but like when people get on a roll, they have confidence, like the confidence that you have to keep going. That alone could change your year. You might be the best trader or the better trader that you ever have known. You just aren't able to size in or take the right trade on the day and all of a sudden you're in too big and you've just changed your entire year on those couple trades that you got reverse psychology, and then you can't recover, right? You
We
can't.
see a lot of guys on social media like
I mean, we see it the past 2 years.
We're always confused. Like, this guy always posts these doubles and stuff like that, but he only takes a $10,000 position.
And all of a sudden, then they're down the entire month. And that's where I'm talking mental clarity, right? Like, you might have a string of a month-long or 2-month-long or 3-month-long trades that work out, but you could lose it in a day, 2 days, 3 days, because all of a sudden you're taking on too much size, you're trying to make all your trades back, and it could just screw you for the entire year. And I've seen it across on multiple traders the past couple of years. I've seen traders have great years in 2020, 2021, and they have made nothing or lost probably maybe even everything that they made.
Long and short.
Long and
both
short.
sides for the past 2 years as well. I've seen it on both sides.
Yeah, and I take nothing away from short bias traders. I see some great short bias traders out there. It's just, to me, in my opinion, you're making it harder on yourself than it needs to be, because I get it. If you're a proper risk reward type trader, you wait for the backside, you use that top for risk off levels, and then you size in accordingly. But at the end of the day, you get one skip up, you get one hold up, or you get one that you can't cover and it gaps up 100%, or we just saw something crazy the other day where it gapped up like 2,000%. And it's like, there it goes, right? Like, and I don't ever want to be in that position where I feel like I'm short something, gaps up 200, 300%, and there goes my career.
Literally.
Right?
That's ZJYH or something weird.
Yeah, it's exactly something like that. Yeah. Rather than being long, like, especially the markets, like, over time, when you're talking large caps, a lot of times they're just going to go up. Mm-hmm. You might have the wrong timing, but if you wait long enough, you should be fine. Now, on the short side, if you try shorting the market or QQQ or whatever, or large caps or even mid caps, those things could turn on you. You might hold those years and you might be down 300-400%. Yeah. And you still might be right on that trade, but again, at what cost? Yeah. Now all of a sudden you're break even, you were right, but you were break even, you were wrong timing.
Yeah.
And it's just, in general, I feel like, in terms of me, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I've seen plenty of successful short-sided traders, but you get that one, and it doesn't mean that I haven't shorted.
We both shorted.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that I haven't shorted, but I'm usually pretty quick side out if I'm shorting. Yeah. I've had some big shorts in my career. You were surprised at how well I did short. You were like, I was even surprised. I didn't realize I did that. But so, there is that. But
it's like I can completely understand when we see posts from guys that short maybe the big opportunity this year was like Tesla on the bounce.
Yeah.
What was it, 280s or 300 that it tapped before it rolled all the way over to like sub 200?
Or did it get to 300?
I don't know.
I know that the bottom was 101, 60.
I was talking when it bounced and then it rolled over.
299, yeah.
Yeah, so something like that, I completely understand that people want to take those shorts. Uh-huh. But yeah, as far as I guess maybe we can talk a little about the long-term stuff that we've been learning the past year.
We could if you want. I mean, I know how much you love that. You're not quite there yet, but for me, I love long-term stuff. But that's the type
I'm spying Q.
No, I know. But I'm the type of guy where I'd love to get in a room full of people and they're just we're just chatting, what's going to be the companies, what are the IPOs coming out, what's going to be that 10, 20, 30 bagger where I'm sitting at $1 at a cost basis 20 years from now and it's at 300. That's my dream.
Yeah.
That, if I can be a Peter Lynch or Warren Buffett like that when I'm looking back and I got a cost basis a couple 1,000% lower, dude, that's when it's just and nothing's better than passive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and truly passive. You size it too big, it ain't passive anymore, trust me.
But yeah, intraday small caps, I cannot imagine sizing in more than a $200,000 position.
Yeah.
I mean, the risk behind it, I literally can't. I can't justify it. Yeah. That's why I don't even think. I think I took maybe 10 or 20 short trades all of 2023.
Yeah.
I didn't even worry about it.
Right.
Even though it was there was definitely days where it was frustrating, where it's just everything's fading and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the thing about the market is, it's yes, can it be slow for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, especially last year? Absolutely. But then something like a TPSD happens.
Right.
So it more so with the long side is about if you can simply just wait out the kind of slow lulls, I will always take slow times and then big upticks versus kind of like 80% of the time I make a lot, and then that 20% of the time I'm getting destroyed.
Right.
I'll just never prefer that.
Because again, the mental side of that 20% could ruin you.
Yeah. I mean, my kind of goal for this year is to, within my controlled, style,
right,
take on the biggest drawdowns I've ever taken.
Yeah.
But do it in a controlled manner where it makes complete sense, and I know that the risk is justified from the trade and stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as like fat tail risks, I mean, the worst case scenario is an intraday offering. And I think personally, I've been caught in.
I've been caught in 3 or 4 of them.
I've been caught in maybe 2, but then I got knifed without an intraday offering for like a 20% candle once in my career. That is the biggest loss I've ever taken. But
it beats out being down 70%.
I remember that.
Overnight offering.
Not great.
Biostock.
No, I'm talking about intraday.
No, I know.
Oh, you're.
If I said overnight, but I meant intraday.
Oh, yeah. Not great.
No.
But yeah. So the fat tail risk. But think about that. That's happened to you 6 times ever. That's happened to me 3 or 4 times ever. Across the span of, for you, 6 years. For me, 3.5 years. So
6 years of trading, man. It does not feel like that.
But I mean, how many times do those fat tails happen for short bias traders? It probably happens once a month. If you're really trading size on the short side on a consistent basis in small caps,
and getting aggressive.
And getting aggressive with it, I wouldn't doubt it happens at least once a month.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other 90% of the time you are raking it in, but
right.
It's just more stressful.
Yeah.
So,
it's more stressful.
Yeah.
And maybe if you study it enough, it's not.
Yeah.
But
I would rather take a lower win percentage and a great risk reward than a high win percentage and a terrible risk reward.
Yeah. And I've been up a couple 100% on stocks before. And when are you going to do that short?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Especially in the Simply plays. That's my bread and butter in terms of, day trading. And when it gets crazy like TPST, anything's possible.
Yeah.
You could be up 3, 5, 700% with a liquid name. Liquid name. And you're just sitting in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times throughout my career. I mean, it all started with drives. Like, still to this day, I'll never forget it. Ship. I was in like a $1.92. Thing went to like $14. I sold for like a freaking 8-cent gain. And I literally was in Ellensburg at CWU watching this thing climb. And I'm like, okay, like $3 I can swallow it. $5, this is hurting. $7, I wake up to that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? $10, holy hell. And then I'm sitting here at the open. It was like trading 12, 13, 14 with liquidity, knowing that I could have had pretty much any kind of size. And at that point, I knew that was going to be bread and butter.
Yeah.
It was like the things that you miss out on almost. It ingrains into your head. That in itself could have been a career, trade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget that. And also MGTI. That's where I almost quit everything. Like I told everybody I quit. Like I can't handle this anymore. It's too much stress. I suck. I lost 50%. I took my 4th day trade and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I was down like $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. And me back then, that was like everything, and just so you guys know, I lost $1,400 and that was everything to me. I didn't get to this point, losing 100 grand or whatever, a ton of money. Well, a lot of money, I started with losing, $10, $30. You've seen it, $100,
Yeah.
And then, I'm losing $1,000. But back then it was like everything. Like I was in my mind, like contemplating, can I even go to college? Can I even stay in the same dorm? Is this even going to work? I don't know how I'm going to pay for anything.
The month before I became really profitable in 2020, I went from March, I made $1,400, and the next month I made 85 grand.
Wow. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm right there with you. It was remember, it was up and down $100
Yeah.
a day,
Yeah.
and then COVID happened, and then it just took off.
I mean, it was just like when I was up $100, I was like so pumped. But I just got peak FOMO, MGTI. Like I'll never. But anyways, my point is when you go through trades that you miss out on, or you lose on, or you could have made a ton on, or vice versa, you always remember it. And that once
I was in MTMB, and that was one of my bigger trades of 2023, and I literally could have made probably.
I mean, you saw
4x of what my best trade ever was.
Right. And, and that's TPST didn't give off 70 plays like I thought it was going to.
No.
Like any other year.
Same thing. It was the number of sympathies that happened after TPST, the biggest runner we've ever seen. Like it beat out SPI. Like it gave maybe a handful, maybe 3 or like if that the next day.
But SPI was in one day. And I also wonder how much the liquidity was different comparatively. But yeah, I mean, they're both huge runners, right?
Yeah.
It beat out SPI. I think it ran 5,000%. And I'm sitting here looking at my chops like this is it. Like I'm going to see a 1,000, 2,000% runner behind it. We didn't get it, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, am I in the wrong for not taking it off? I mean, I feel like when
maybe if you had some light rules to be able to scale some. Probably, we've already talked about this off stream, obviously, but I think that's probably the main thing for maybe 2024 is just having some light rules where it's like, okay, if it pulls back, X amount, I got to sell a third or something like that. I got to lock something in because then worst case, if it goes all the way back to break even or even small red, you're still, it's still a big trade.
Right. Yeah.
But to just all or nothing it and then also add on the dips after it tops out, like that was pretty insane.
Yeah. And I always question, like, is that in the wrong, like, historically? If you look at SPI and then what was the runner behind it, it went from 45 cents. Yeah, 45 cents up to 8.40. So that was
percentage-wise, MTMB was pretty weak.
Yeah.
Compared to what...
And even liquidity-wise.
I mean, it was pretty liquid up there.
What did it trade at? Did it trade 200 mil in the day?
I mean, it was about
100 mil?
3 mil. I just remember the top, and it was churning about 3 million a minute.
Yeah, but anyways, that's just kind of how things unfold. And I going forward learn from that. I mean, we made a video that I hopefully never have to look at. We all know what that video is.
Yeah.
I did that for good reason because I can't keep doing this, and I want to never see that video.
Yeah. Essentially, it was just you talking to yourself, and I had to record you saying like, "Dude,
I'm not doing this again.
You need to sell." And yeah. So if you're ever in that situation, man, hopefully I never have to send that video of your past self telling your future self to.
That's my goal. Never see that video. But so overall, 2023 had some opportunities. Reflecting again, like I said, the biggest thing I can do to myself in 2024, look at the range, look at the liquidity, take the top 4 to 8 stocks on the day, put them up on the screen, and start taking the opportunities that arise. Size in and size out properly, and just take the best that you can take. Don't force, don't look for the money thing, just take the setups that come about, and that's it. Yeah. I mean, out of nowhere, I'd make crazy trades, and I wasn't planning on it at all. I just waited, and then all of a sudden, it was a setup. I take it, and I make a crazy amount of money, and then I'm done. Mm-hmm. And then the other days, I just wait. And it's like, not only am I, like, not selling on those crazy trades, but also, I'm not, on those, when I do make those crazy trades, I just give it back in a week or two because I'm not just being like, all right, like let's simmer it down. That was a great trade. Bring the size back, bring the scale back, and let's get back to pinpointing what the best opportunities are on the day, right? Mm-hmm.
It was a lot easier to give it back because of the lack of follow through we get from big runners.
Right.
I mean, we I think if you check your DM I guess you can, but maybe you can post to the room, or I can post to the room. But anyways, from the stats that we track, there was no upticks in big kind of active months. Like all of them were literally just pretty much flatlined.
Right.
So
And yeah, I mean that we have a ton of stats. You know, George, he makes all these stats, and then we'll go over all sorts of different criteria. Like, you know, I can go on and on, but 100 mil on the day, up like what is it? A gap that like happens lower than 15%.
No, it's 30% gappers. It's volatility, so 50% highs, but the volume's light or just a million share minimum.
Yeah.
And then 20% high day on like medium liquidity, and then 20% high days on $500 million.
Right.
That's the main.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll take them and you'll take them. Like there's just so much.
It's good to be able to look at those and then reflect on your month and be like, okay, like was it actually objectively a slow month or did I underperform?
Right.
You know.
Well, and also you're just taking more edge on your side.
Mm-hmm.
This entire game is edge on your side as much as possible. That's all it is. There's the market and it's ever changing. It's always evolving. But if you can put edge on your side to be just that percentage better. Like, it's just like taking blackjack and having 52% on your side and 48% on the casino side. If you can do that, you now, over time, will win no matter what, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you make the same dollar amount bet every single time, technically, you will win.
Right.
So that's kind of, there's so much different criteria that I have for my trades and what I look at, and every day is a different day. And I use them differently than you use them.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like we always say, Jordan knows how I trade better than anyone. And do I know how you trade better than yourself? Probably not. I just focus kind of like, I don't know why. You just know how I trade better than anyone, but it doesn't mean he's never really taken those trades like I have. And that just shows you that even if you know something inside and out, it might not be you in your blood or how you react or how your personality is. And every person will trade somewhat differently. But as long as you have a strong foundation, know how the market kind of runs, take percentages and try and put them on your side every single day and keep learning. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
You guys have any questions for us? We'll start answering some questions. I don't know if you have anything else to say there, Jordan.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, I guess I don't want to ramble too much.
Yeah.
See if there's a little Q&A.
Yeah, we'll do a little Q&A for 15 minutes or so. Do you have any questions you want to ask me? Or I guess I can start thinking of questions to ask you.
I mean, overall, like, you know, is there going to be what's going to be some of the main adjustments for 2024 that you've learned from the past 2 years? You know, not like you've already explained like the complacency stuff, but are you going to like actually kind of adjust your trading for this year to improve?
So
what are some light rules that you can see yourself maybe implementing? I guess that's a better question.
I kind of talked about it a little bit. But I think the biggest thing for me, rule-wise, is having those 4 to 8 stocks that I know have the most opportunity on the day. And then, you know, taking the size accordingly. And, you know, like I always tell you, like I don't want to have a lot of cash on hand because when I don't have a lot of cash on hand, I feel like, again, back is against the wall. I've always traded the best like that. Like if I feel like I need to have a roof over my head and food on the table, like I perform. I feel like in my head, I will always perform. I've done it time in, time out. Whenever times are tough, I know without any question of a doubt, I will perform. Like I have zero doubt. I put that on anything. That's where I feel like I'm going to take the most percentages on my side. But now that I have all this like cushion and like, you know, I think the biggest thing for me is, like I just said, 4 to 8 stocks. Looking like I did it today, like I'm like, okay, like I was looking at Tesla, I was looking at Up, I was looking at ROI, I was looking at SPI short, which I actually took. Like there's things that are moving in and out of the market that have range, that have liquidity, that's showing opportunity. And that's one of my biggest things. And then taking that, but also on top of that, when I make a big trade this year, I want to have like certain size criteria where after that, my old self, I'd take half the amount of size. The next trade after, half the amount of size. You know, I'm starting to kind of peel it off in size. Take the big winner, and then underneath that kind of chunk and take some wallet patterns, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of, I don't need to be taking the big winner and then...
And try and roll it over into the next
Yeah, like with GameStop and AMC, like we're not in that market. And until we are, unless Carvana goes to like 500, I'm not doing that, you know? But so I need to. That's another rule is just trying to take that big winner and then peel in size right behind it. Always another thing I was telling myself this year is like get back to like my old ways, like me basically looking at a trade, taking that trade, and then and then just recollecting, like size down every time, size down. I take a loser, size down. I take a winner, size down. Like when I'm trading right, I will take small size every single time until I just know I need to take big size. It's almost like second nature where I'm just taking small trades here and there, but all of a sudden I know what I'm looking at and I just size up out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I'm on. But if I'm sizing in and trying to make back for my losses all the time, and my old self, I'll lose half the account one day and double it the next, right? Like that's when I'm on, right? Like I'm dialed in when I'm doing those kinds of things, but I'm just at 0.01% off. So,
yeah.
I mean,
do you think that like the cushion that you've built over time has kind of blurred the barrier between needing to work hard or I guess a better way to put it, like, do you think that there's like barriers that you really haven't set for yourself ever since you became quote unquote complacent after making a ton?
yeah.
Do you think there's some barriers like or guidelines that have become blurred because because your back isn't against the wall, you really don't know
100%.
how to be in this situation and still be super motivated every day type thing?
I could never imagine a life like Elon Musk, where I'm there 16 hours a day for the rest of my life under my desk. Like I want to mentally have fun in life, right? Like, that's not the life that I want to live. I want to go travel. I want to have fun. I want to, meet new people, create new memories. Life is about being rich in memories, not in money. I know that's easy to say when I've done well for myself in my career. But I'm telling you from being in this position, it's definitely memories that mean more than anything. And I know those memories can have money without money. Like, you're not going to travel, and that's just part of life. Like that's the kind of day to day that we live in this world and how it functions. Yeah. So it's just changed in that sense of me just enjoying life a little more.
Do you think it'd be beneficial if you traveled more, relaxed completely, and then came back and then actually hit it harder?
You and Ariel both tell me that I need to do that.
instead, you know what I mean though?
Yeah,
instead of because I kind of felt like that this year as well. I mean, there was plenty of days where literally I would trade. I'd either make or lose $3,000, and I'd go play I would go play PGA, or I would go just take a nap, or I'd go to Costco, or at 10 a.m. Whatever.
And that's I go in the middle of the day. Like I went on a walk this morning. I would never used to do that. I went on a walk, but I care about my health. Like it was a 5-mile walk. Like I'm like.
Well, I mean that's a little bit different. I'm talking about completely just mentally checking out. On an inconsistent basis, I'm dialed one day, but then the next day, I'm tired or whatever, and I'm just, whatever. I think for you, it's almost like you should travel more, get your mind completely off trading, don't trade at all, and then you'll actually miss trading when you don't do it at all for 2 weeks straight, and you're not checking your charts and all that stuff.
I still miss trading every moment that I'm not at the screens. I can promise you that.
Yeah, but
even when I went on a walk, I'm like, I really want to be at my desk.
I know, but it's just different because, you can say that, but I think that
that 0.01%.
The 0% or whatever that you were talking about. I think taking some long travel time completely with breaks for trading, I think would actually be beneficial because if you legitimately don't check your phone and all that stuff and you do not trade, I feel that you're gonna get a real fire back when you do come back to the house, and then you're dialed on the setup, you're back on the trading screen and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You're not even gonna want to take a walk. You're not even gonna want to get up again. Even if things are kind of slow, I feel like you're either gonna be studying or reading more on a consistent basis. Yeah. So it's almost travel more, completely relax, come back and be 100%, and then just do that almost back and forth, every 2 months or something. I don't know. Right. I think that might be a good mentally a refresher.
Right. I hear you, and I just truthfully I don't know if that will ever be me.
Yeah.
I don't know because like I just love what I do. I love showing up. I love being at the screens and um,
I'm
you
talking
know.
specific. This is not forever.
No, I know.
I'm talking specifically to get rid of the whole complacency thing,
Right.
because it's like you want to keep putting in this work and stuff like that. Yet you do have a life of comfort and stuff. So why not fully indulge in that comfort? And then on the other side, you will completely mistrade and be like, oh, actually, I don't want to just be half in, half out, and just like this complacency. I want to be 100% in, because you don't know what you have until you don't have it. So I almost feel like you have to you need to remove trading this year for portions of the year in order to fully be able to dive back in and be completely focused
Yeah.
for that extra, whatever,
Right.
1%. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a different perspective. I know out of question of a doubt, without like 110% positivity that I'm certain on this is when I am losing money or feel like I don't have any money is like when I'm trading my best. Without any question. I am laser.
But that will never be an option. You'll never.
I know. And so, but what I'm saying here is like, I'm trying my best to get myself to feel like that.
Mhm.
And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I will get there. I can't guarantee if it's going to be in the next month, 3 months, year, 2 years. But when I get there, I'll see the next leg and I'll never look back. Because now I'm like, I hit my goals for my life, right? Now it's like if I can be like that, but for the rest of my life, does that make sense? So like I've kind of like jumped to a point where like I'm good. Then that next level is just like the rest of my life, right? So like if I can hit that next gear and have that feeling of like I have nothing, or like, just get into that mentality of like every day grind it, show up, focus, right? That kind of stuff. I know that I'll be the best. But here's the thing. Being that way, it took a toll on me. Like I took this for granted, and I always told everybody like trading, like to me it felt easy. I know it's not, because I've seen a ton of my friends fail. You've seen them all fail. We have a lot of friends, and some people see what I'm doing and they're like, okay, like this, if he's doing it, especially when you met me in high school, anyone could do it. But it's like looking back and going through these past 2 years and recollecting, like going through those days when I was like deep into it. I mean, I was stressed. Like I was like focused, like the knot in my stomach that I had to feel sometimes day in and day out. I don't wish that upon anyone, but I didn't care. Like that's the grit. That's the grind. I love that like hardship in life where it's like when things get hard, push through. When someone says it's impossible, make it possible, right? Like, so that's what motivates me in life. Like I like things that are extremely hard that people think that is impossible, and then I will grind through the barriers no matter what it takes. That's who I am as a person, and I've always been like that. The difference is I've never focused on one thing my entire life. I've spread my competitiveness, my drive across 15 different things. I would play a different sport every quarter. I wasn't that type of person where I would be like Reese, where he would just every single day he would focus on baseball, and now he's playing for the Red Sox, right? Like it's like in order for you to be good at something in life and to excel at a high level, in my opinion, unless you're like Elon Musk, you can't spread yourself across 50 different things. It has to be laser focused on one thing and grinding it in and out every single day, growing through those hard times. But like, truthfully, like, I don't know if I want to get myself to that point where I feel those knots in my stomach.
I don't think.
I
I just think that there's a solution, and it'll take time to figure it out. But yeah. You don't have to, because I'm in the same boat. I mean, trading was the riskiest thing I've ever done. I probably put in more time studying from probably
2017,
late
2018.
2018 was on and off, but from late 2018 to probably when I became profitable.
2021?
Yeah, no, 2020.
Oh yeah, 2020.
I probably put in more time in those 1.5 years than I did in the entire culmination of my like schooling,
Yeah.
like K through 12.
Oh, I can assure you, in 1 year I spent more time than every day. I
Yeah.
didn't give I didn't care about school.
Yeah. So
It wasn't my passion.
But like, I don't know. I just think that there doesn't have to be this like 0 or 100.
Yeah.
I think that it can be 100 through like waves of focus. It doesn't have to be. No one's going to be at 100 every single day. So there was I watch Stanley Druckenmiller. So he was the guy who traded with George Soros.
Mm-hmm.
And he was explaining how, like, in 2000, he was down like 20%. This dude never had a red year, and he just lost his butt shorting all these tech stocks, and he literally top ticked the market to the day.
Yeah.
On his short, he covered dead top, and he took a vacation for like a solid month. And back then, obviously, they didn't have phones or anything. But he didn't check any quotes, nothing. Like, no newspapers. He like purposely avoided everything. And then a month later, he comes back. I think he saw some imbalance on like the bonds and stuff like that. So he got long and just went full tilt because it was so clear to him that bonds were undervalued at that time, that the market was about to get shit on.
Right.
And I think on the year it ended up finishing up 25%. So he made $800 million to $1 billion. I don't know what the number was on that trade.
Uh-huh.
But it came from him stepping away, gaining clarity, and then from there he had the fire back, and obviously now he's always been on his game. But
right.
I don't know. I think breaks and stuff like for me.
When I went to Lake Tahoe, it was 2 weeks.
2024 goal for me. I mean, I'm taking already in the books. I'm taking 4 vacations.
4. Yeah.
So, and I want to add maybe even another one. So. I mean, just for me personally, I think that will help.
I mean, I'm going on 3 that I know of, at least. So, going to Norway.
Going to Norway?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. For 12 days, or 10 days.
When?
July? Or no, August?
Dude, you got to go to the Viking Museum.
I'm going, so it's a huge tour thing. Yeah, I think we're going to that.
Are you going with the group that you did back?
No.
Oh, okay.
But
that's great.
Yeah,
that's
so I want to get to your guys' questions because I asked you guys, and then there's a ton of questions and I haven't asked one. Let's see here. Appreciate.
It's easy to ramble.
Yeah, I know. The questions is for Jordan. I read through your recaps and I really like them. Was wondering, will you be posting your 2023 recap?
I post every now and again, but no, not really. Overall, I don't know. I just I'm completely just gotten away from Discords. You watching a little Grant Cardone while I'm talking?
It stopped me. Stop my video. That was weird.
The disrespect, man.
I know. The disrespect is real here. Dr. Disrespect.
Legend. But no, I mean, I have so many recaps. I also posted all of my monthly recaps before I became profitable, and I think that's in Team Recap Room. And I posted all the 2019, like the entire yearly reviews of that. I did every single month pretty much of 2020 when I broke out. But really thereafter, I think that is the most valuable thing that people can learn when it comes to like finding their edge or seeing what's possible and stuff like that. I saw what was possible through Cam because I was watching his recaps in 2017 and I saw his 1K account challenge. And that to me was the most insane shit I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody turn 1,000 into 100,000. Like that to me at the time literally was beyond my understanding of what was possible. And along with a lot of other people, because I don't really know of anybody else that did that at that time with no margin. So
no margin was the biggest.
That's the biggest thing. So, and then on top of that, you did it with the TD account under PDT.
Yeah.
So that was just insane to me. But the most value that I got from Cam originally, like when I first became profitable, was his come up. Like, seeing the days where he was only making $100, $200 or something like that. So I made sure that when I started my kind of journey in, I I started posting very heavily in January 2019 of all of my like monthly recaps, or maybe it was later than that, but I posted a yearly recap of 2019 and then all of like 2020.
Right.
I think that is where the most value comes for me, and now it's like it's just kind of an evolution, but it's just a different focus now.
Right.
You know.
Right. Same here. I mean, looking back at the things that I used to trade comparatively to now, are like night and day. That's what happens as you get more size and more liquidity. But okay, so what are the qualifications of your top 8? Do you focus on volume? Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot that goes into that, but just quickly, I'm looking at volume. I'm looking at range. That's kind of the biggest things. The amount of range on a stock. I also will go back and look at its daily chart. Does it generally have a lot of range on its day? Does it have a high ADR, average daily range? All those things kind of go into, if I'm going to make money intraday, I need range and I need liquidity, right? Those are kind of the biggest things, as well as is it breaking out of a multi-week, multi-month, or is it down 90% intraday? Or there's a lot that goes into that, but I would say the biggest two things is range and liquidity. I'm looking for those two things when I'm talking intraday. My long-term account, it's honestly sometimes similar, but on a different time frame.
Yeah.
Cam, did you find your truck or get it ordered? Chase Cranston. I'm looking at somebody who reached out. I'm still looking into the details on that. If you have any, opportunity on a foundational series Cybertruck, DM me. Still kind of questioning that or not. Let's see here. I usually use level 1 and I have been doing just fine. Would you say learning how to use level 2 can help? Level 2 is a huge deal. I look at level 2 when things start speeding up or I see bigger bidders. That's all part of my trade style as well. It
was a lot bigger deal in 2021.
Yeah.
But nowadays it can be very choppy.
Yeah.
I still obviously use it, but it's actually mostly for the sell side. I really don't even care about tape on the buy side anymore.
Yeah.
It's more so just about turns and kind of just triggers for me on.
Yeah, I still look at tape, and
on the sell side, it's very valuable. Seeing the skip up, a lot of times nowadays with the new algos and stuff, they do like halt band manipulation. So being able to see like when they push the bid into the ask and if they break it back down, it's a good time to scale.
Right.
And it's one of my rules and stuff. So
you guys on Instagram have any questions? Let us know as well. How do you know when the market has been shifted? Is it when 3 or 4 trades don't perform? Honestly, yeah. Like sometimes, I know things are shifting if I'm taking smaller trades and they're not extending. That's when I know things are shifting. If I'm taking big trades and then I'm getting crushed on those, then that's not me trading the right way. Maybe 2 to 3 months worth. And what does the process adjustment look like for you? I mean, looking at Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, looking at all those bounces. I mean, look at what those bounces did and then look at what the market did, right? Like, those are things that I'll always remember. Going back and looking at Netflix or, there's another one, but you can see how amount of range that it offers. It's usually like a couple hundred to
Amazon,
Amazon. Apple, Microsoft. You can go back and look at some of those and you see, it has range. It might be down 60 or 70%, but it can climb quickly. What scares you the most, as long as what is something that you stay away from buying? Shorting a high flyer is what scares me the most. Something you stay far away from buying. Stocks that are light liquidity and are up a couple 100% or down 80%. I usually stay away from that.
High price, spready, low volume, kind of like those are not good. It's long or short, but definitely short too.
Yeah. God, yeah, I will learn everything about it. Would you say combination of learning patterns and being there at the right time, right place helps? Would you say a combination of learning patterns and being there at the right time, right place helps traders to take their trading to the next level? College has been getting in a way, Yeah, I mean, I had to decide whether I was going to be in college or not, and I dropped out. I mean, I saw plenty of opportunity go beside me, and I'd be in class, so I dropped out of college. But I don't recommend that for anyone. I mean, I'm some anomaly. Dropping out of college is a huge deal, and I called a lot of people before I did it. and I also saved up a decent amount, like not anything crazy, but I had some, some stability a little, to just be like, and I love what I found. I love what I was doing, and I just had passion, and I didn't see myself failing. So
Yeah, I dropped out of college too.
yeah,
Good old community college, and I was living at home at the time. I had no expenses. I was young. I was 20. I really didn't have any friends at the time. I had just nothing but trading to focus on. But
I mean, you had some friends. They just weren't like close friends.
no, I had a handful of friends, but my
I didn't talk to anyone. I had no friends.
hey, you said I was always in the dungeon, so I mean.
You weren't. Well, same here. I mean, I got my friends hated me for a while, but anyways.
And then as far as timing, like 2020 and 2021 was an absolute gift. We both couldn't have done what we did without a market like that. So
yeah,
I think if you're just now learning, it's obviously going to be more difficult. It's also more difficult when you are trying to go from 0 to 100 in obviously something that's slower like this, as opposed to if you've already kind of hit goals and then you're just trying to figure out how to continue making more. It's completely different.
right.
So it's still possible. There's still plenty of guys that have done it. I know personally, some of the couple of guys that I talk to on a daily basis. They're very successful. I mean,
Right.
they both made each well over a couple $100,000 in their careers and stuff. So it's definitely possible. They became profitable last year, but it's definitely luck is you can say luck and stuff like that, but the reality is everyone's going to have their own time of when they can break through. I think that you just have to be a lot of the really successful people in the world. I mean, they just right time, right place definitely is a factor. So
No question. No question.
it's-
I mean, I know of a person personally who, I mean, they timed that tech bubble.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just like, and then reaping all the benefits of a tech, right? And just being in that sector alone.
Triple Q and it
Just
went down
created their life.
85%.
Right. So,
So,
if you have skills, if you have skills, you have skills. If you don't, you don't. Yeah, I mean, I guess. How much are scanners part of your trading? Oh, scanners are a big part of my trading. I have my trade ideas and then a TOS. I mean, I use them every single day. It's like my bread and butter. Like they're my eyes and ears to the market. I couldn't trade without it. What are ways to be quick on the scene? I mean, scanners do help. Thank you. Appreciate you guys giving the time. Yeah, scanners do help being quick on the scene. I mean, some of my quickest trades being like prompt too is just like having a scanner, looking at news and just boom, right? Like those are everything about being on timely man, right? So
I couldn't trade without it.
yeah,
I don't know how anybody who day trades could trade without scanners.
right. You need it. You can't sift through.
I don't know if you could program TD to do what Trade Ideas does.
I haven't seen it. No, I mean I have TD and it's not nearly the same.
I mean, I've tried. Trust me.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Did you ever sell those Lukoil Russian shares? Man, are those worth a lot? Let me tell you. I don't know how. I haven't looked into it a ton. That's a good Lukoil and RSX and especially Sabraci. I think Sabraci technically I'm up like 1,000+%.
I don't know.
I mean, my average, it's like I saw it today. It was worth like $12 a share. My average is like 80
Can you
cents.
pull it up?
It doesn't come up on the U.S. markets. It's like
You gotta type
conversion.
in, like,
Rubles, and then you have to convert those. It's weird. Yeah. So, I mean, right now it's worth quite a bit, but I got to be able to sell it. I've tried once. I called like JP Morgan or something. I didn't go too far into it. We'll see what happens. Like, if it wins, it's going to be nice, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But, again, doesn't change my life, right? Like, that's kind of, it'll feel awesome, but, I haven't gotten any news on that. What percentage of capital do you trade? Oh, that's a wide variety. I trade all my account all the way up to 10%. I'm a little bit riskier when it comes to my sizing in, I would say. And Jord, you probably are much less, like 30%. max?
Of size on the account?
Yeah, 50% max.
I'll do 100%. It just depends on what my stop is on the trade.
So, but usually you're what, like 30%? Not the Robinhood account.
No. On like a proper day trade, it'll be about 3% of the account.
3%
of the account value.
wow.
That's how much I'll lose on it.
Okay, I'm saying like how much is the percentage of being in the account?
That's what I'm saying. It varies. So 30 to 100 grand, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Can you keep doing live every week? Yeah, I'm gonna try and stream as much as I can. I'm not gonna say every day, but I should. I want to recap my trades. I want to get back and tell you kind of like my thoughts on the day, my thoughts on the week, my thoughts on the month. I need to kind of I need to whack myself in the head in front of you guys to show you how not to be complacent, stuff like that. So I'm going to try my best. Would you say learning the game now potentially could help traders who are break even be profitable when the next bull run comes? Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're learning now and you're trading well now or even break even right now or maybe just a little profitable, you get a 2020, 2021 market, you'll see what's possible. It can really light up your opportunity.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is not losing that. I've seen so many traders throughout my career make a ton of money, but they'll lose it all within a month, a year, 2 years. And it's like, for what? Protect your nest egg.
As far as if you can be profitable and have a bottom left to top right P&L curve in last year and this year, when it's not crazy, then taking kind of those base hit years and then hitting those home run years when they do come around,
big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. I do still use my scanners. They are still available for purchase, and they're the ones on the website are the ones that I use. They're still up to date. I haven't changed them. What is your max amount money? Did you feel like you could put some small caps in? Oh, I mean, it was very tough to get in and out of small caps. But again, I trade mid caps and large caps too. So I shorted the market today.
Short spot?
Yeah, short spot, and then towards the end there. And
should have taken some put options, man.
I did.
Really?
Yeah, I'm overnight. Are your nest eggs ETFs or simply like a CD? Oh, no. My nest egg is across Qs. It's across different stocks. It's across the S&P. Yeah, but it's also select stocks too. I'm young, so I want to be a little bit more aggressive with my long term, but it's also shielded enough to where I'm not like sweating. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's pretty much it on the day. We've been on here quite a while. I got to eat dinner. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hopefully you guys learned something. If not, tune in next time. Hopefully you can get something out of it. But
tune in next year.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't take me a year to stream again. But appreciate you guys staying strong in the room and continuing to learn and try and grow as a trader and keep pushing. And even if you're not trading at all, this is a lifelong skill. So any bits and pieces that you can learn throughout your life, it'll always be a compounding effect because it's something that will always be there, in my opinion. Without the markets, this economy is nothing. So, anyways, guys, thanks for coming on, Jordan, as always.
Yep.
Can't believe it's already been another year.
Yep.
Just feels like every year it's quicker and quicker almost. But yeah, I'm going to try and become more active. And 19 Birdies, good to see you. Appreciate you over the years, 19 Birdies, and every one of the other mods as well. You guys are awesome and continuing to keep the room up and, helping people as much as you can. And yeah, guys. All right, see you guys hopefully maybe tomorrow. Who knows if it's crazy, But anyways, cheers, team, and go Hawks.